Hi, I'm Garrett Gunderson doing a 5-part series on the dangers of the economy and how to navigate it so you could end up with more wealth instead of transferring it to everyone else. See, Professor Gregory at the University of Washington did a study about the Great Depression. 1/3 of the people were actually everything we saw. They were starving, they were homeless, they were struggling. It was a terrible situation. But 1/3 of the U.S. population actually maintained. Sure, it was harder to maintain. There was more work. There was a lot of stress involved with that. There was a lot of issues that were going on. But what I want to focus on is, why was there 1/3 of the people that actually had, prosperity? There was more millionaires made during that time than any other time in our history. That third understood certain things. It wasn't just about time and effort. It wasn't just about trading time for money. It wasn't about getting benefits and a secure job. The reality was, those that became leaders, those that delivered the most value, those that understood we had massive problems and started to become a solution rather than just pointing out the problems and complaining about it like we see in politics. There's people every day, rather than taking responsibility for their life, rather than seeing what step they could do to take forward, point in the directions of everyone else being to blame, and that victim mentality destroys things. We're at a place right now where there's more entrepreneurs and business owners looking to hire than there's people on unemployment. That's a pretty amazing, interesting situation. Yet there's still people that are struggling to make their car payment, over 7.6 some million that are behind 90 days. Yet some people can't even get a mortgage. Yet we're seeing default rates increase on student loans. So what does all this mean? It means that you can't just rely on everyone else. You can't just trade time for money and hope that someone's going to provide for you. Instead, you've got to invest first and always in yourself. What can you do to deliver? The bigger the problems out there, the bigger the payoffs. How can you be part of the solution and value creation rather than complaining and pointing fingers? The conversations we have determine the wealth. And if we're in cheap conversations, we're only considering the problems, we're going to invite that into our life. If instead we say, what can I do right now in my personal economy? Not the global economy, but today, taking a step forward. Not just about learning something in a book, but applying something in life. How can we support others? How do we serve others? And the more clear you get about that, the more wealth you're going to create. Wealth creation is a game of value. It's time to enter the value game and exit the complaining game. It's time to look at your education as a lifelong quest that improves your skill, and therefore we start to create our own destiny, our own future, and we pave that path because there's things that haven't even been invented that are going to come about, and you could be the one that does that.